Hey guys, so it is like almost 1 a.m. on Monday night. Didn't do anything today. It was a rough day. Um, yeah, it was just a rough day. Had to make a decision I didn't want to make, but it's what's best for my mental health. So I did it, and it sucks, but in the long run, I'll be better off for it. But, since I didn't do anything today, I literally just stayed in bed. And when I was awake, I played video games. I played Witcher, New Game Plus on Witcher. Got 3 sleepy babies. Look at them sleepy bibs. Which I need to do so I don't fuck up my sleep schedule. I don't know, I was just thinking about like the whole pandemic thing, and I'm sure most of you are watching like things on YouTube to take your mind off of it because it's literally everywhere. Every time you turn on social media, it's there. But today just kind of really reinforced that so many people are so selfish in this world. Like even going out to the store right now is life-threatening for everyone, but especially immune-compromised people. So, just, like, even if you want to just want to run to the store and grab something, you're risking your life right now. I know I'm touching my face, but my mouth really itches right there. Because it's coming in. And it just, like, kind of makes you think, it's like, well, I would go out into this pandemic for this person, but would they do that for me? And I just kind of feel, and this might be is nihilist the word I'm looking for? I'm not sure, maybe. That 99% of people wouldn't do that for me. And, be like, no, you're fine, you can go get it yourself. Even though, you know, really, I'm not supposed to leave the house. I haven't left the house since Friday morning. And that was before cases were discovered in our county. Which just kind of like makes me think, it's like, well, when I went to the store, I could have been exposed to it and not showing any symptoms yet. It says it can take 2 to 14 days. You know, and just stuff like that. And like my dad's job, he works for the U.S. government, so still having to go to work, even though there are 2 cases at his work, 2 confirmed. And like, you always hear about how like companies and CEOs and big businesses and politicians are all greedy and selfish. Like, we've known that, but like, it's just crazy to see, like, in a pandemic like this, when literally all that we're asking you to do is not go outside, or like not leave your house. Like, you can go outside, but not go out into public unless you absolutely have to. Like, you have no food in your house whatsoever, you need your meds, or you have a doctor's appointment. Like, that's it. And it doesn't seem that hard, and it's not, and that's all we're asking, and yet so many people aren't doing it. It's like, you know, thanks for, really thinking about me there. I'm staying in, so I don't get it, but also so I don't pass it to you, because if, say, somehow, in some way, somehow, that I did catch it, but I didn't show any signs, and I didn't manifest, but then I would become a carrier, give it to somebody else that would kill them. I would have essentially killed somebody. Like, just stay home. It's not hard. We have the internet. We have all sorts of video games. Download some games on your phone if you don't have like a console or something. But everybody's got a damn phone. Delete some old pictures off your phone that you literally haven't looked at in like 2 years. Make some space, delete some apps that you never use, and just download some games and sit on your couch or watch some movies. Like, you have Netflix, Hulu, you got YouTube, you can watch movies on YouTube now. You got, and then there's like a Vudu thing, I think you can like download movies and stuff. There's all sorts of streaming sites. Like, my dudes, read a book. Like, do you not have any books in your house? How do you not have any books? Just stay home. If you need to go outside, you just need that vitamin D and you need that air, you know, like, go do some gardening. Start a little garden. Or something like that. Or just go sit out on your porch and just enjoy the day and watch the world go by. Or, like, if it's not raining tomorrow, I might do yoga outside. In the morning. I did that last night. Did I tell you guys that? I don't remember. If I didn't, like, I'm sore from it. I didn't think you'd be sore from stretching, but I also didn't realize how stiff I was. I was so stiff. Yeah, but this kind of just has all, like, this all has everybody worried. It all has everybody stressed about so many different things. And it's like, just take a second and be like, what are my actions doing? Are they contributing to the problem or the solution? And if it's not contributing to the problem, to the solution, then you need to check yourself, check your behavior. If it's just making people more stressed, if it's just hurting people, if it's threatening their lives, even if you don't think it is, you're like, oh, I'm just going to the grocery store like I do all the time. That action alone could be threatening somebody's life. Because this shit's airborne. Like, somebody coughs, could just sit in the air if it's not well ventilated. And even then, again, it can last in the air for 3 or 4 hours. So, you know, it's kind of a big fucking deal. Yeah, there's that. I need to put, like, all these up. Yeah, the raspiness is just because, honestly, I've been crying all day. And then allergies. I didn't take any allergy medicine today, and I'm just tired. But, yeah, it's just, like, don't make things harder than they already are. Just be kind, be thoughtful, be considerate. Do what's best to protect yourself if you're immune compromised, because as, you know, we've seen on the news and whatnot, people aren't. So you might have to be a little selfish and be like, no, okay, what you're doing, you cannot come around me. Or, like, I can't go do this for you. Or, you know, and they might get mad at you. And if they do, and then, you know what, fuck them. Because they're being inconsiderate. Especially if, like, they have healthy immune systems. Like, I don't want anybody to catch it. But, you know, don't. Just, if you can do it yourself, do it yourself. And just think, like, immune compromise doesn't just mean old people. It's like, first of all, think of the old people. Think, it's like, my friend texted me earlier today, and she's like, do you really want to be taken out by a virus? She's like, I didn't think so. It's a wet cough. It's a wet cough. I promise. Yeah. So, I mean, do you want to be taken out by a virus? Like, really? But, yeah, just be more considerate of your surroundings. If you must go out, do the 6-foot rule. Yeah. And, like, I know you guys like, well, I can go over to my friend's house, can I? No. What if they went to the gas station and then the grocery store? And even if they were doing the precautions, somebody else may not have, and they may have touched something that had the virus on it. And then they have it, anyone who lives with them has it, and then you would get it. You know, we have Skype, we have FaceTime, we have Zoom, we have our phones. Like, you can still have your game nights, your movie nights, your whatever, with the safety of your home through technology. I don't know why people are acting like technology doesn't exist anymore. Like, it does. So, and like, you don't, like, extroverts. Every normal day, you are just, like, always on your phone, you're FaceTiming, speakerphone, all the time. And now you don't know how to use that? Like, so many extroverts have given me anxiety, like, over sensory, because they'll be on speakerphone in, like, a close place. And I'm like, why? Like, you can't do that now? Come on, my dudes. Come on. I know as humans on a whole are social creatures, but we have ways to still be social without being right there, then and there. Shit, people used to have to write letters to each other, and it would take days and weeks, even months, to get to them. Just to be like, hey, this is what's going on in my life. Now we can, like, call people and it's instant. We can text people, it's instant. We got social media and it's instant. Like, stop risking your lives and the lives of others. Like, hospitals are already starting to reach max capacity. They're running out of supplies. There's not a cure for this. There's not a vaccine yet. The people who get better are getting better because of, maybe they have good immune systems, but also through the help of the doctors and nurses and all other healthcare professionals keeping them from dying, putting them on ventilators, making sure their lungs aren't filling up with fluid. Like, the way that it was first presented, it really did just sound like a bad cold. Like, they're just like, here's the symptoms: a fever, shortness of breath, and a dry cough. Well, when you state it just like that, it doesn't sound terrible. Like, it would suck to have, but you're like, whatever. It's texting me right now. But, yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. Like, so when the CDC presented it, I was like, well, that doesn't sound that bad. And then, like, last week, my dad sent me a video. It's like, this explains it more. And, like, the critical, if you ever want to know what kidney failure feels like, this is what it feels like. Like, when you're about to die from this plague that we have going on, your lungs fill with fluid, you can't breathe, oxygen can't get to your lungs, so it can't get to the rest of your body. And so you essentially drown in your own fluid. That's exactly how it felt when my kidneys failed. And it sucks, but this is a lot faster than that was. Mine was a really slow process when my kidneys failed. I don't know how it is for others who've had kidney failure. I just know my experience. It took a month for me to get to the almost dying part. I was a day from death. The doctors told me afterwards, and I was like, oh, that's fun. Because my lungs were full with fluid. I couldn't lay on my back. I had to, like, stack up pillows so I could breathe in my sleep, and stuff like that. So it sounds very similar, and it can this virus can cause, I'm tired. Can cause organ failure eventually, like your body just shuts down and then you die. That's the critical last stages of it. But it's a fever you can't break. So, like, taking Tylenol won't help. Putting a cool cloth on your head won't help. Nothing will help make it go away. Like, I think most of us think of a cough as like just a something like that. But it could be a hacking cough, like you're just trying to cough up a lung, inconsistent. And then one person who had it said that it felt like there was an elephant standing on their chest, which also felt like that's how my chest felt when it was filling up with fluid. And then even if you survive this, it's attacking your lungs. There's a respiratory virus that attacks your lungs, and it's putting holes into your lungs. So you'll have, if you survive it, you'll still have breathing problems for the rest of your life, because there's holes in your lungs. So yeah, it's not just a cough and a fever and a shortness of breath. Like it's fighting your body. It's fighting your lungs, and then you're fighting to breathe. So it's not great. Yeah, that's my PSA. Just, be kind, be considerate, take care of the ones you care about, and just try to focus on the here and now, I guess. I know most people are like, well, think of the future when it's all past and all this and that, and it's like, right now we need to focus on what's going on. We need to focus on how we're going to get through it as a community, as, humanity in general, because this is a global pandemic. It's not just in isolated places. I think it's touched nearly every country. I haven't heard any news out of Africa about it. I'm like, they're still fighting Ebola, which we were dealing with in 2015. We had a better president then who took care of things, but it's neither here nor there. So, and stuff like that. So I can't imagine just throwing this on top of it. But it's really bad in Europe. It's still pretty bad in China. I don't know if I believe, they're opening up some movie theaters, in China, so I guess it's getting better there, because they went on total lockdown. Like, you could not leave your house for anything. The government brought you your groceries. And then, it's really bad in Italy, but if you think about most Italian towns, I don't know how many of you have seen them, but, the houses are really close together, and the apartments are really close together. If they're newer buildings, they're still built on top of, medieval foundations. Well, the foundations would be new, but, you know what I'm talking about. And there are medieval buildings there that are really close, and also why the bubonic plague passed through so quickly. One of the reasons. So if you just got people living on top of each other, it's gonna spread. UK's gone on lockdown. Our state, Georgia, finally did a kind of lockdown. They're like, well, if you're sick, don't leave. Or if you're immune compromised, don't leave your house. And we're closing all the bars and nightclubs. I was like, first of all, you should have done that 2 weeks ago. And a lot of it here in America, people are so skeptical about shutting down. It's not even necessarily a lack of concern for their employees, is that losing a week's worth of profit can be devastating for a small business. And we have a lot of small businesses here that rely on being open every single day. So yeah, that's one reason. And then there are definitely companies who just don't give a shit, and they're like, oh, you're replaceable. Well, I'm like, well, when this takes out 2 million people, let's see how replaceable we are then. But yeah, it's just a lot. It is a lot to think about. It's a lot to process. It's a lot to worry about. But just do what the CDC tells you, and it will pass. It's kind of their job to control it. It's in the name. Yeah. So that's my PSA for today. Stay safe. Don't do stupid shit. treat others with kindness, you know. Don't make them feel like shit. Don't make them feel worthless. Or treat them terribly because you're in a bad mood, or, you know, all the toilet paper's gone. Or some bullshit like that. So, yeah. Just, right now, just stay to yourself. You know, and all that. So, yeah. I will see you guys. Maybe I'll do yoga outside. If not, I will do it in my room where it's, I like had to move my table and shit. I was like, I'm short. I should not be having this problem of hitting my leg on the table. But, yeah. And maybe I'll make that bread. I don't know. Night, you guys.